Hi, everybody. This is Sasha Awa. I just joined Vivial as the Director of Content and Digital Marketing. I wanted to welcome you guys to the Vivial, including the LocalVox platform, live webinar on search engine marketing today. I'll pass it over to Shannon Meyer, our Director of Product Marketing, who will go over what we will be covering in the next 45 minutes.
Thank you, Sasha. Good afternoon or good morning to everyone on the line. I'm very excited today to talk about search engine marketing and how it can place your business in front of customers who are ready to purchase. SEM is one of my passions, and I hope by the end of the presentation it will be one of yours as well. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Shannon Myers, and for the last 15 years, I've been working with businesses to help grow their customers by using internet marketing. I have experience directly with SEM, and I'm a Google qualified individual, which means that I know the best practices when it comes to managing an SEM campaign. We at Vivial, we are a premier Google partner, which means that we have the certifications, the knowledge, the experience, and deliver great results for our customers through SEM campaigns. And what that means is we have a direct contact, we get additional support and training, and much more. So the agenda for today, we're going to look at some definitions of internet marketing terms like SEO and SEM. It can be very confusing for a business to keep up with the acronyms and the names, so we'll make the complex very simple. We'll look at the targeting options that are available with search and some best practices there, so keywords, goals, locations, and device. We'll review some case studies of our customers who have successful SEM programs and what they've seen over the last 3 months. We'll share some additional resources, some that are straight from Google and some that we have at Vivial. And finally, we'll end with questions and answers. So in the platform, you'll see the chat functionality where you can ask questions as we go along. We'll keep track of those, and at the question and answer session, we will answer as many as we can, and if we can't get to yours specifically, then we'll follow up personally afterwards. So, some definitions to break it down in layman's terms. So in internet marketing, we have a lot of names and acronyms for the same thing. So in today's presentation, we'll be very consistent. Search engine optimization, or SEO, and search engine marketing, or SEM. So two different ways to really drive the same result, additional traffic and leads to your business. So search engine optimization is the process of increasing your website's visibility in a search engine natural results. And this is a long-term strategy. It doesn't happen overnight. So when I say natural results, I mean in the organic section, which is typically below the paid ads. And we'll look at some screenshots in a moment. And it's a long-term strategy because it takes time and energy and effort in order to make your website the best answer when a consumer is searching. So it can take months to move up in organic rankings. Search engine marketing is the process of increasing your website's visibility in the paid area on search engines. So typically at the top of the page, above the organic. And it drives immediate results for a business. So a campaign starts, and within days, you can start to see traffic and leads to the business. So you can see how it's apples and oranges, but it really makes an awesome fruit salad because you have long-term and short-term results, and you appear at the top and in the middle, so you're dominating a lot of the real estate on the search engine results page. So you're on the call today because you know that consumers are searching online for your products and services. And here are some statistics to help reinforce that sense that you have. So there's a 34x increase in the number of searches for phrases that include near me. So we as consumers have gotten really sophisticated in how we search. And adding in near me can deliver relevant local results for that search. It not necessarily always the neighborhood or the city or the zip code. Putting in near me will deliver even better results sometimes. You may have experienced this when you go and type in something into Google search bar and some of the suggested terms show below. Oftentimes it'll say near me as one of the options. So it's really important to know consumer behavior changes, keywords that are necessary to utilize change, and you have to keep up. 51% of mobile searches result in a store or business visit. So on mobile devices, on smartphones and tablets, we are very action-oriented as consumers. We are ready to place a phone call, send an email, walk in a store, and this stat proves that. 70% of households use the internet when shopping locally for a product or a service. That should not be surprising at all. And last, Google really grabs the search traffic. 83% say that they use Google most often. Google has the search traffic, and also it's turned into not just a noun but a verb. I'm going to go Google that. So some statistics to reinforce why you're here today. So we're going to quickly do a lay of the land of search engine optimization so you can see the difference in the two, and then search engine marketing and what is possible with that. So with SEO, it's the natural, organic, free, not really free. With SEO, you really have to pay attention to how the algorithms work with the search engine. So an algorithm is a complex formula that sits behind the scenes that determines what websites show when a user types in a search. So we as consumers, we're asking questions of Google all day long, every day. And Google's goal is to deliver up the most relevant results to the user so that they'll come back and keep using Google. And really, those results are the answers to the question, what Google thinks is the best answer to that question. And you want your business to be that best answer. And I mentioned that it's not free. So it takes a lot of energy and effort and expertise, even though it's not a pay per placement type of area. So someone working with SEO needs to understand the algorithm, needs to know the search patterns, needs to know what keywords are relevant, and browsers and devices. Pay close attention to user behavior. So there's a lot that goes into it. And let's look at where it appears on the page. So here's a screenshot of a search results page with the paid at the top, maps in the middle, and organic at the bottom. So in the map section, those are the 3 listings that are relevant to the locality of the search. So if I search for plumbers, Dayton, Ohio, I'm going to see relevant plumbers in the Dayton, Ohio area. There's an algorithm behind that that determines what websites and businesses show. It's a little different than the traditional organic below. And then in the traditional organic section, you can see publishers such as nearsay.com. You can see business websites like your own. You can see images, news stories from nationwide publishers. You can see social media profiles like Facebook, videos, review sites like Yelp, and much more. So there's limited real estate and a lot of competition in the organic area. And a recent survey showed that 19% of organic results are business websites. So there's a lot of directories, there's a lot of social media, there's a lot of publisher sites. So it's competitive real estate, but very important. So as I mentioned, SEO is a long-term strategy. It helps build that foundation for the business, helps get you some real estate on the page, and increase website traffic. So now that we've set what SEO is, let's move to SEM, search engine marketing. So search engine marketing is really premium real estate. It's high profile. It's the ability to reach a customer that's likely to make a purchase through targeting. So you are able to target people based on their behaviors that are more likely to work with you. And you can get results immediately in days versus months. So on this screenshot, you'll see that the paid ads are at the top of the page. So there may be 3 or 4 that appear above the maps and organic. Google determines how many results appear there with the intent that they show more ads when consumers show intent to purchase and fewer ads when they don't. Ads can also appear at the bottom of the page, and a new feature with Google is promoted pins that can show in the map area. That's in more of a trial mode right now, so we won't go into detail, but it just shows that Google continues to build on their advertising product, and it is an important piece to have in an overall internet marketing strategy. So let's look at the targeting capabilities and best practices. So first off, keywords. That's where it all starts. So the keyword is what the user types into the search bar. And you really need to think about it in terms of if you were your customer, how would you search in order to find your business? So what product or service would you be searching for? What geographic area? And there's some tools that you can use in order to determine some of those keywords. One is Google's Keyword Planner. So it's a tool in the platform that will show some keyword ideas and potential search volume. This has changed in the last few weeks, so some users are experiencing less data than before, but it should be able to give you some ideas on keywords. This is something that we at Vivial use all the time for a lot of our digital marketing efforts. You can also look at historical data through Google Trends, so highs and lows, seasonality, search predictions, and much more. And you want to make certain that all of this aligns with your business goals. So choosing the keywords and the right keywords and optimizing for those is really difficult. Not only do you have to choose what keywords you want to show for, but also what keywords you don't want to show for. So those are negative keywords. An example might be if I'm a caterer and I only want to cater for weddings. I don't want corporate events. Well, if I just used the term catering and didn't add a negative for corporate, I would show up for corporate catering and someone would click on my ad and it would take away from my budget and it would be an irrelevant lead. So when we set up campaigns, we use hundreds, if not thousands, of negative keywords that we know are important. So putting in there bad reviews. You wouldn't want to show up for bad reviews, plumber, New York City. So adding in negative keywords is really important in addition to those that you want to appear for. With keywords, you also need to consider match type. So match type is how you tell Google what type of keywords you want to show for. So I mentioned we're getting really sophisticated as consumers, and we know adding near me will give us local results. We also know that adding in really specific requests gets us even better results. So 15% of searches are brand new, which is hard to believe that we've been asking Google questions for years and years and we're still asking new questions. What that means is that you have to consider all the ways that a customer can search so that you can appear. So match types like broad match can help do that, but definitely have to be coupled with negative keywords. So let's look at goals. With SEM, you can set up your campaigns to focus on what your goal is for that program. So most of the businesses we work with want their phone to ring. They want phone calls or emails. And the reason is you want to be able to talk live to that person, to pitch them, and to make that connection. So SEM can be focused on driving phone calls. At Vivial, we say clicks are good and calls are better. So back to the keyword slide, if you have a keyword that's driving a lot of clicks, but it's not connecting to any phone calls or any of your goals, then you're wasting a lot of money. So optimizing for calls is a great way to set up a successful campaign. Website visits. Some businesses don't necessarily want the phone to ring. They want people to go to their website and maybe place an online order or get additional information. In-store visits. So So if you're a brick and mortar, having in-store visits, of course, is essential, and we can help with SEM to drive customers in the door, maybe through special offers or location information. And lead generation, so very similar to the first one of phone calls. However, if you want someone to download an ebook or you want to generate a lead that you can follow up on later, that's another goal that can be considered with SEM. So location targeting. This allows your ad to show to the people most likely to purchase from you, the ones that are nearby or in your service area. So you can target by city, by state, by region, by country. Most of our customers do a 20-mile radius of their business. We can go 10 to 50 miles, but the sweet spot for a lot of small and medium-sized businesses is 20 miles. And that can be really efficient. So you're not reaching customers who are outside of your service area. If you think about, let's say, newspaper advertising, where you're reaching hundreds of counties, you may only service 10 of those. So with this, there's no wasted budget. It's ideal for brick and mortar service-based businesses. So if you're a plumber that services a 30-mile area, you're going to get those relevant customers. And device. So device is really important because mobile searchers are crucial. The reason is that mobile searches have exceeded desktop searches. Over 50% of the search traffic is there, and over 50% of the leads that our customers receive are from mobile. And as I mentioned, we're very action-oriented whenever we're on our mobile device. So we want to place a call, we want to get directions, we want to walk in the store, we want to get a special offer. And so making certain that a campaign is well optimized on a mobile device is essential. It's really a mobile-first strategy that's needed for internet marketing in this day and age. And many ad features are automatically applied to the mobile experience. So we'll look at some call extensions and some location extensions which can drive calls and clicks to your location without any additional effort from the consumer. So with the location extensions and call extensions, what that allows is for a consumer to simply click on the call button and dial your phone. So long gone are the days of, okay, you remember these 3 numbers, I'll remember these 3 numbers, and you remember those 4. We make it super easy for a consumer to connect with a business. So we've talked about the targeting capabilities, some of the best practices, and what SEM and SEO offer. So let's look at some success stories. So we have a glass repair company who's in a rather large metro area, and their goal was to increase calls and emails to their business. And in 5 months, they received 231 highly qualified leads. What that means is their phone rang or they received emails 231 times in that time frame. A very successful campaign and very happy customer. Another example is an attorney in a mid-sized market, and in 6 months they received 154 highly qualified leads. So less than the glass company, but the return on the investment for an attorney is so much greater than that for a glass company. So they need fewer leads in order to have a successful campaign. So we have hundreds more successful SEM programs that we're running in large markets and in small markets for professional industries and for blue collar, for service area businesses that go out to homes and make their customers there, or for those that have brick and mortar and they come to them. So let's look at some additional resources that can help you along the way. So I mentioned with Vivial, we have a lot of tools that we utilize, like the Google Keyword Planner when we're setting up internet marketing campaigns. Another one that we have is an SEM estimator, which allows us to see the clicks and impressions and leads that you may get in your area for your products and services. And we have that available to run within just minutes for you. So either put a chat in the platform to request one with your email address, or email us at gethelp@vivial.net, and we'll provide that over to you. We also have a lot of great resources on our site. So we have additional webinars upcoming, ebooks, blogs, and so much more. So you can learn about SEM, SEO, social media. So make certain and check that out as well. So then we have free resources from Google. So the Google Keyword Planner that I mentioned, and then they have a small business community where you can join and just see what other small businesses are saying about their internet marketing efforts. So you simply Google small business community. So we at Vivial, we like to make the complex simple. So a lot of this a business can do on their own. But a lot of businesses didn't go into business to do internet marketing. So if you need help, then we're definitely here to help. We have the tools, the technology, the partnerships in order to take marketing to the next level. So you can see our telephone number and our email address there. We really kept this presentation rather brief in order to allow for a lot of the question and answers that we get at the end. So at this point, Catherine, would you like to open it up for questions?
Yeah, if you have questions, we have some that came in already. So if you have them, type them into the chat feature in the box, and we're going to take about 10 minutes to to answer questions. And if we don't get to you, or if you would like more information on the SEM estimator that Shannon mentioned earlier, you can either type your email into the chat box and we will reach out to you, or you can email us directly at gethelp@vivial.net, and we will get back to you and set up some time to make sure that we get on your calendar and provide that to you. So one of the first questions that came in is, if your business is growing and you're looking for a newer, bigger location, is it better to become more established with SEO for that location, or should you start out immediately using an SEM campaign to increase awareness about your new business location? What would you recommend, Shannon?
I would say both. So for the first piece of it, for SEO, I would definitely add that content to the website, add a location page with the information, and to SEM. So SEO, as we talked about, takes a lot of time. It can take a month to move up in the search results page, and SEM can help immediately. So if you're trying to get into a new geographic area, you can't rely on SEO alone. So you can target that location, as we talked about, a radius or a city or cities, and then start to hit that market now while your SEO is building in the background.
Awesome. That's a great strategy. We also have a question about, somebody said they don't have a huge budget to spend. Does that limit them from doing an AdWords campaign?
No. So an SEM program can be really cost effective, but you have to be smart with it. So we have budgets in hundreds of dollars and in thousands of dollars. And if you're a catering company in a small market, then maybe a $500 budget would be relevant. If you're a personal injury attorney in a large market, thousands of dollars is probably going to be relevant. So that's where our SEM estimator tool, shoot us a note and we can tell you what budget would be right for your market.
Great. We have another question about the placement of ads. They're asking, we showed on the slide the 3 different primary places that you can be placed. What if you only want to be placed at the top? I mean, that's where everybody clicks. Is there a way to ensure that you're up at the top and not in the maps or at the bottom by the additional search terms?
So no, there's no guarantee. So with SEM, it's a live auction behind the scenes. So there's constantly, every time somebody hits enter when they've typed in a search, there's an auction that runs that says, this customer is willing to pay this for this click. And the results will change dynamically based on that auction. So if today you're always showing up first for the keyword in the geographic area that you want, and tomorrow you're not, it could be that your competitor has started a program, or they've started with a larger budget, or maybe their ads are now more relevant, and so you're dropping down the page. So there's no guarantee that you could be first all the time, but it is important to have a competitive program. So that's where we can look at our historical information and see what would be a competitive program for that market.
Great. Let's see. So, hold on, just scrolling through. This is something that I got asked a while ago. Do you need a website in order to run an ad campaign on Google?
You don't have to have one. Most of our customers do. What we do when we create an SEM program is we also create landing pages that are tied to it. So not necessarily the main business website, because business websites usually have a lot of information and may not be as directed to convert customers as a landing page would be. So best practice is to create a page per product or service that you're advertising with enough information to get the customer interested to contact you, but not too much where they won't pick up the phone and call or shoot an email. And then those landing pages are well optimized with a phone number, big and bold in the upper right-hand corner, some calls to action, a contact form that just requires a few pieces of information so they can quickly contact. So what we create looks and feels just like a website, but it's definitely built with the goals in mind that are needed for that business to succeed. So you don't have to have a website, because we would create those landing pages for you, but you can have your own separate website and run SEM for that.
Very nice. One more question came in about the click-to-call feature that a lot of people have been seeing on mobile. Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
So the click-to-call feature on mobile, in order to set that up, you have to have a call extension established and have a mobile campaign running. And that allows someone to call whatever phone number that has been programmed in. So whether it be a call tracking number where the calls can be recorded and reviewed, or a cell phone number or main business line. So with our SEM programs, we actually use call tracking numbers most of the time so that we can report out on how many phone calls were received and allow you to listen to those calls and determine if it was a good lead or not. So a lot of great analytics that come along with the ability to have call extensions and call tracking numbers.
Great. And then sort of along the same lines, we have somebody that said they're running an AdWords Express campaign, which I know is when you run, I believe, through Google My Business, and they said they're getting clicks but no phone calls, and they are wondering, is there a problem in the ad? Is it the copy? Is it the way it's set up, or do they just not have that capability?
Well, I wouldn't be able to answer with 100% certainty without seeing the campaign itself. What I can tell you is Google AdWords Express is a good do-it-yourself option. It doesn't allow as much flexibility as a full AdWords campaign allows for, like what we run. So there's limited keywords that are utilized, and it may be that the keywords need to be fine-tuned or the ad copy. So, Catherine, let's capture who that was, and we can follow up to get additional details.
Okay, great. And then we have one about the Maps results. I know that Google Maps is always a favorite topic of our audience. So they said with the Maps, the results listing, if you change location, does this change if you move locations within a bigger city? So if you, if you move to a different office, or maybe you're expanding into 2 locations, is that automatically captured?
So if I understand the question that came through, so if you move to a larger city, then you have more competition. So it can be harder to show in the Maps area. Some things you definitely want to consider is that the Google My Business is claimed and optimized, that there's a lot of great relevant information there, and if you have reviews, that helps to move up the results in the Maps area, but it's very location driven. So you have to have a location in that area in order to show in those results, and it can be more challenging in a larger city than a small one.
That makes sense. We have time for one more. I know everybody is busy and we want to be mindful of time, but we'll take one more. This one's actually about a startup. So it says, my company is a recent startup that's geared to both businesses and to individuals, so B2B and B2C. How much can an SEM campaign help and develop relationships with customers in those areas?
Okay, so they're a startup company geared to businesses and individuals. So as we mentioned with goals, SEM can help with brand awareness and drive traffic to a website. So if you're in the early stages of your business, you would want to consider what keywords would be relevant and run an SEM campaign, but keep a close eye on the traffic and hopefully monitor the conversions, the calls and emails to see if that's working. If you're brand new, you have a little more research to do than an established company.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Shannon, and thank you everyone for joining us today. As Shannon mentioned earlier, if you want to download a copy of the presentation with links, it is actually in the attachments and links section, so just click in there and there's a PDF, and you can download it right to your device. So thank you everyone for joining us today, and we will see you on a future webinar. Bye.
Thank you all.